Assalamu alaykum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, my name is Hassan Gidio, and today I wanted to make a short video that explains that explains and provides examples of practicing reading ayahs from the Quran. Because I know most people struggle with reading certain parts of the Quran, like certain ayahs. Even I myself, I'm also learning, but I wanted to share something that I've learned a long time ago from my one of my old Arabic teachers from Sunday school that I started doing and I started practicing, which literally helped me a lot. Because I feel like if you were to practice this and master it, it will help you significantly. It will help you a lot and learning, like when reading the Quran fluently. Like you don't have to memorize it, but when you practice it a lot, you'll be able to read any ayah fluently with like little to no mistakes and very well. As long as you follow the rules, like the tajweed rules, and you've mastered how to like pronounce every single letter of the Arabic alphabet properly and correctly. So if you know how to pronounce every letter correctly, properly, with the correct sounds and everything, and you mastered and you know like tajweed and you know all of the tajweed rules, then this will be like very simple to follow. So if you're not familiar with those, I would advise you to like practice and learn those first. Then you can then you can follow along. But today I wanted to like recommend a few books and a few videos. So there's this book right here that's on the screen right here. You should check it out. Y'all should check it out. You might have some at the local masjid, or you can just buy it online. This will teach you how to like pronounce the letters, like doing the mouth movements, how to like read Quranic ayahs. I think it probably has like the tajweed rules and stuff, So once you like practice this book and follow along, you will be able to like easily like understand the tajweed rules. And there's a couple videos and a YouTube channels that I'm going to like recommend in a few seconds. Well, if you just watch some of these videos and you follow along with their channel and learn from them as well, you will be able to understand more like Quranic Arabic, how to read, pronunciation techniques, breathing techniques, and stuff like that. And you can also attend local classes at your local masjid, online classes and things like that. All right, Assalamu. So now it's time to like provide some examples. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, let's begin. So basically, what I was referring to earlier of like what my Arabic teacher used to teach us in class is something called spelling out the letters. Now, this helped me and some others a lot because like at the time it was really hard for me to like read the Arabic letters in the Quran. Like the way I used to memorize some surahs was like I used to like look at the transliteration. I don't know if you know what the transliteration, not the translation, but like transliteration. That's what it's called. Yeah, I would just do that, bro. And let's just say it didn't end up nice. So basically, this is like really simple. It's really simple, but the only problem is that it just takes too long. So let me show you. Let me show you an example. And today I'll just be using small examples, small and simple examples, because most of the letters in the Quran are very similar, and you'll see stuff like this repeat in the Quran. I'll probably make another video doing it with more like another set of ayahs. But let's begin. So this ayah is ayah 71 from Surah Zumar. It's not the full ayah, but it's like a sentence of the ayah. It's pronounced وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا. So basically, if you wanted to learn how to pronounce the letter, it's very simple. So basically, what he taught us is that you see, let's say the first word here, right? Or the first word, you will spell it out letter by letter. Let's say wow, sin, qaf. So and then this word is alif, dal, ya, noon, and then this word kaf, fa, ra, wa, wow, wa, and then the same thing here and here and here, right? So basically, let's just get straight to the point. So you see this first word here, right? We're gonna spell out the letters. So you have the letter wow here, and then fatha. Now let's now wow and fatha. So the way you pronounce, the way he taught us is that you would say this: wow, fatha, wa. You get it? You get it? Wow, wow, fatha, wow. Now, if this was a Dhamma, let's say, for example, imagine, let's say this was Dhamma, it will be wow, dhamma, woo. You understand it here? You like, do you follow along? Okay, now let's say we have wow, fatha, wa. And then this letter here is seen. So it's seen, kasra, si. Now combine the two. Wa, wa, wasi, wasi. And now this ya is like, it has nothing, right? It has nothing. So it's like a sukoon, I believe. So it's just wa, si. Let's see. Correct me if I'm wrong if I explain this part. I'm not familiar with it, but correct me if I'm wrong if I didn't explain this part correctly. But I hope you understand if you're following along right now. So it's wasi. And then the last letter of here is the letter qaf with the letter qaf with the fatha. So it's qaf, fat, qaf, fatha, qa, wasiqa, wasiqa. See, that's how you pronounce the very first word of this ayah. Wasiqa. Let's repeat it, okay? Wa, wow fata wa, seen kasra si, ya has nothing here. I believe we just elongate it, so let's go with that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not a sheikh or like a imam. I'm also I'm a student like everybody else. Let's continue. So wow fata wa, seen kasra si, ya, yeah, and then qaf, fataqa, wasiqa, wasiqa. All right. Now let's move on to the second word. Now, if you see here, this is alif. I believe this is a sukoon, so you say nothing. I feel like, okay, I think you just combine here, but we'll get to that. So now this letter here is lam. This is how it's connected. Lam with the shadda and a fatha. Shadda means you just connect the sounds from the previous word to that word. For example, so it'll be lam, fatha, shadda, la. You connect it from the previous letter here, and we'll get to that later in a few seconds. And then you have the letter zal, kasra, the, ladhi, ladhi, ladhi. Same thing with ya as previous. And then we have the last letter is noon, fatha, na, ladhina, ladhina. وسيق الذين وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ. Are you following along? Are you following along? I hope you're able to understand like where this is going. We spelled out each letter with the corresponding rules like fatha, kasra, fatha, shadda, right? And this is part of the tajweed rules. You're just spelling it out and adding it to the corresponding letter, and make sure you're able to pronounce the letters correctly. So this will help. This will help you a lot. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ. All right, so we had the first two words down. Now let's move on to here. This is the letter kaf, right? It's pronounced kaf, not qa. You have to know the difference between these two letters to pronounce it correctly. And this letter kaf, fatha, ka, 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 fatha, ka, fatha, ka. And then the letter fa is right here, also with the fatha. Kafa, kafa, kafa. Third letter is ra. This is letter ra. The dhamma, ru. Ra, dhamma, ru. Kafaru, kafaru. And then the way you pronounce this letter here, I don't know what the rule is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you don't say anything here because the way this I is pronounced is the way this word is pronounced is kafaru, kafaru, kafaru. Now this, I forgot what the name is, but you have to like elongate it for like a couple harakats. I don't know if it's 4 or 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kafaru, kafaru. But do you feel me right here? Like when I like with the spelling these three letters. وسيق الذين كفروا وسيق الذين كفروا. So these are the first three words you spelled it. And then this word is just two letters. It's very simple. Alif. Okay, I'm not sure if it's alif, but it's a hamza here with the kasra. E. So I'm pretty sure the hamza here. Hamza kasra. E. Hamza kasra E. Hamza kasra E. This is the letter Lam, Fatha. Lam, Fatha La. Lam, Fatha La. Lam, Fatha La. Hamza kasra E. Ila. 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 Now, was connect the previous words. وسيق الذين كفروا إلى وسيق الذين كفروا إلى وسيق الذين كفروا إلى. Now we've done the first four words. Now let's move on to the fifth word here. Jahannama. Now this is how you will spell it out. It's the letter Jim, Fataja. Jim, Fataja. What sound does this make? Ja. Now if this Jim here had a cuss, had I mean, sorry, had a Dhamma here, Jim, Dhamma, Ju, or Jim, Kasra, G. But in this case here, it's Jim, Fatha, Ja. Ja, 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 Ja. And then this letter here is the letter Ha. Now this letter Ha, you pronounce it from the chest there. It's different than this letter Ha. This letter Ha, you pronounce it from like the back of like your throat area, but this letter you pronounce from your chest. Okay, so this one is Ha with the fatha. So as you see previous examples, Ha fatha Ha, Jaha, Jaha, and then here you have the letter Noon here with the shadda and the fatha. Like you connect it from the previous letter here. So the way you spell this one out is Noon shadda fatha Na, Na. The way it's pronounced is here. Like for example, let's say it's Jahannam, Jahanna. Now if there was no shadda here, it would just be Jahana, 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 something similar to that. But since there's a shadda here, you connect it from the previous letter. Jahanna, Jahanna, Jahanna. And then the last letter here is the letter Meme with the also fatha. Meme, fatha, ma. Meme, fatha, ma. Jahannama, Jahannama. And then the last word is here. It's the letter Za, Dama, Zu. Za, Dama, Zu. Za, Dama, Zu. This letter here is Meme, Fata, Ma. Zuma, Zuma. And the last word here is raw, raw. Now this is like I'm pretty sure it's called fatatain. Now at the end of each Arab letter, I mean at the end of each word, it's common to see something like two fatas here or two dhammas or two kasras, right? Basically when you pronounce it, you just like add like the letter like this, like the letter N at the end. Like for example, this will if this had two fatas, it will be pronounced na, nun, nun, not na. In this case, zumara. But I forgot what this symbol is here. But you don't have to pronounce it with like the zumaran, or you could just say zumara, zumara. All right. So this is zumara, zumara. Za, damazu, ma, meme, sorry, meme, fatama, zuma, and then ra, fatatain, ra, zuma, ra. You don't have to pronounce it zumaran because you can stop right here. If you can stop right here. If you stop right here, you can pronounce it zumara. But if you choose not to stop, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, you can say zumaran. All right. So we've practiced spelling out the whole sentence here of the ayah. وسي now we'll say it right now. وسيق الذين كفروا إلى جهنم زمرا. وسيق الذين كفروا إلى جهنم زمرا. Alright, so I just provided one example of spelling out the letters of each word of each ayah. You just have to practice it a lot. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect every time at the same time. So whenever you're stuck reading an ayah, just use this technique, and it will help you a lot, inshallah. Even I myself made a couple stutters, and probably mistakes, but I caught myself. Yeah, but I'm trying my best. So وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِلَى جَهَنَّمَ زُمَرًا. This will also help you with like pronouncing the letters correctly, because we all know in the Arabic language, if you make one adjustment, one small adjustment to a word, it changes the whole entire meaning. Like if this was a kasra here, kafiru, it will probably say a whole different word. So that's it for this ayah. Let's move on to another ayah. Okay, this is also from the same surah, Surah Zumar. The previous example here was ayah number 71. This one, I believe it's ayah 73. But I'm gonna read it out. I'm gonna read it out as an example, and then we'll get to spelling out the sentence of ayah 73. وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم إلى الجنة زمرا وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم إلى الجنة زمرا. So we'll start it off. And this is very similar to the previous example in the previous ayah. So we'll start. Wow, fatawa, sin, kasra si, ya, and then qaf, fataqa, wasiqa, wasiqa. Same thing here from the previous ayah. Lam, shadda fata la. Lam, shadda fata la. And then dhal, kasra the. Ladhi. And then you have ya here. And then the letter noon, fata na. Ladhina. And then you would have to combine it here because it's shadda from the previous letter. Wasiqa ladhina. Wasiqa ladhina. Now move on to the next word. Like I said, same thing here. This is a shadda. You have to connect it from the previous letter. This is ta, the letter ta, shadda fata ta, and then the next letter qaf fata qa, qaf fata qa, ladhina taqa. This here is taqa, and this is waw sukun. So sukun basically means it's like silent or nothing. Or you don't pronounce anything. No dhamma, no fata, no kasra. So now let's connect this. Let's connect these three. We just spelled them. وسيق الذين اتقوا وسيق الذين اتقوا. And then the next word here. Ra, fata ra. It's the letter ba here. Shadda, fata. Rabba, rabba. Remember, if there's no shadda here, it will just be rabba, rabba. But this is a shadda here. We connect the sound, connect it from like the previous letter. Rabba, and this is ha. This is pronounced ha. But here it's a dhamma here. So ha dhammahu, ha dhammahu, rabbahu, rabbahu, rabbahu. Keep in mind of the shadda here, because if there was no shadda, it would just be rabbahu. But it's rabbahu. And then the meme and the sukun is nothing. Sukun is silent. You don't pronounce any sound with it. So it would just be ra fata ra, ba shadda fata ba, and then ha damma hu, rabbahu, and then meme is just you don't pronounce nothing, is silent. Rabbahum, rabbahum. Now if this was a shadda here, fata here, it would be rabbahuma, but it's rabbahum, rabbahum. Now this next word is ila, hamza kasra. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if this is a hamza or alif, but it's hamza kasra e, and then lam fata la, ila, ila, ila. There's no shadda here because if there was a shadda somewhere, it would be pronounced like illa, illa, but it's ila, ila, ila. And then here you have a sukun, 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 lam, sukun. There's nothing. You don't pronounce any fatha, kasr, or dhamma. I'm not sure what the rule for here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you do have to connect here. Like it's like ilal, because there's a sukun here. You don't say anything. And then you have the letter jim, the letter jim, fataja, ilalja, ilalja, and then the letter noon, shadda, fata, na, ilaljanna, ilaljanna, and this is ta. This is similar to like ta marbuta. It's pronounced ta, and there's like a kasra he. So ta kasra ti, ilaljannati, ilaljannati. Same thing with the previous ayah, previous example. Zumara. Za, dhamma zu, mim, fatama, zuma, and then ra, fatatain, ra or ran, depending if you stop here at this symbol. Zumara, zumara. Now, let's read the whole sentence here. وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم إلى الجنة زمرا. So that's it for these two examples. These two are very similar. So these two ayahs are very similar to each other. They both have opposite meanings. This ayah translates to something is I'm not sure about the full translation, but it's something that has to deal with like the disbelievers will be driven into Jahannam in groups. And then this one here translates to something similar. It's like those who fear their Lord will be entered into Jannah in groups. Yeah, so these two ayahs are very simple, but they're totally opposite. They're from the same surah. Same surah. All right, Assalamu alaikum. So that was it for like the small example of spelling out the ayahs. I know it wasn't a perfect explanation. Like again, like I'm not a sheikh or like an imam. I'm also like learning how to speak Arabic myself. But if I made any mistakes, please correct me in the comments or reach out to me. But that's generally the idea. It was a bunch of small. It was like a few small examples, spelling out the ayahs, connecting the letters, while also following the tajweed rules. So I'm gonna post like links to some other YouTube videos that like a YouTube channels that that explain the Quran more in detail. I'm pretty sure you already know. I'm pretty sure you guys know what it is. It's Arabic 101, and probably a link to like buy the Arabic book that I mentioned earlier. But that's it for today. That's it for not today, but like that's it for like the explanation. I might make another video with the more better explanation with more examples from like different ayahs of the Quran. But hopefully you've all learned something today, and hopefully y'all all learned something today and can use this in the future. Jazakallah khair. May Allah guide us all. May Allah bless us all. May Allah allow us to continue to read the Quran, to understand the Quran, to teach the Quran with others. Ma salama.